in progress. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Coding Java Tech tutorial. Previous Spring Boot tutorial, we discussed about how to develop the MVC application in Spring Boot. In today's Spring Boot tutorial, we are going to perform the validation, means how we can achieve the validation in the Spring Boot MVC application. How we can achieve the validation. This can be achieved with the help of the Bean validation API. Okay, so Spring MVC provides one API called Bean validation. We can also call it as javax.validation API. So through the help of the Bean validation API, we can achieve the validation, but it is implemented by Hibernate Validator. So today, today we will not only serve the JSP pages in the Spring Boot application, which we have already served the JSP programs in the Spring Boot application yesterday. But along with that, today we will achieve the validation. Means whenever we enter the name, enter the date of birth, or enter the city and click the submit button, whether we are entering the correct values or not. I mean, the name should not contain digits, okay, and date should not contain the strings, okay. I mean, date should not contain the string related things. I mean, the pure date it should contain, and the age should not contain string. So such kind of validation, and then all the name cannot be blank, age cannot be blank, date of birth cannot be blank. We can achieve it. While yesterday's Spring MVC application, which we developed in the Spring Boot, we have not done the validation. Okay, you can check that. If you click the submit button without filling anything in the form, it will goes to the next page and it will show the null. That should not happen. So for this purpose, we need to achieve the validation. So this kind of validation, we can call it as a server-side validation or a backend validation. Let us learn now how we can achieve the validation in the Spring Boot. Okay, so before that, I'm going to tell you some information related to the validation. So to achieve the validation in the Spring Boot MVC application, we need to add one extra dependency. We can call it as a Spring Boot Starter dependency in the POM, which is called Spring Boot Starter validation. Okay, so if I included this dependency in the pom.xml, it contains the 4 jar files. One is a JavaX validation, second one is a Hibernate validator, third one is a classmate, fourth one is a JBoss login. Now, this JavaX validation is basically called it as what a Bean validation. Means that we will achieve the validation in the Pojo class. That's why it is called a Bean validation. Okay, and it is implemented by Hibernate validator. Okay, it is implemented by Hibernate validator. So Hibernate validator will not work if you don't have a classmate and JBoss logging jars. Okay, that's why 4 jar files you need to use. 4 jar files will automatically come to your project when you use the Spring Boot Starter validation dependency. Now, this Hibernate validator uses the JavaX validation uses the following annotations like size. So all these are field level annotations. Size, if you apply the size annotation, then you can enter the how many number of characters you can enter, means the length of the characters or a length of the field, I can say. Not null, not empty are basically you must enter the mandatory field. I mean, you cannot leave such field blank. It's a mandatory field. Not empty is not applied to the integers. Okay, the past it is applied to the date, and means you cannot enter the date which is greater than current date. Means you should enter the date which is less than the current date. Future, opposite of past, you cannot enter the date lesser than current date. It should always be future date, mean greater than today date. Max and min, these are the annotations used for the integers to provide the or specify the maximum value and the minimum value. What is the maximum salary, maximum age, minimum age. Pattern annotation is used to achieve the validation using a regular expression. I mean, for example, you want to enter the name must be between 6 to 10 characters. It must contain only characters between A to Z, small or capital letters. Don't enter the digits and special characters. So then you can use the regular expression attribute of the pattern annotation and specify the regular expression using the different symbols. So which will help you to achieve that validation. And the valid is basically again a field level annotation, tells to the Spring framework that all the fields of the bean class must be validated compulsorily. Okay, because the validation, whatever the annotations you are going to use, they are used in the Pojo class. They are used in the bean validation, I mean, the model class. So that's why it is called a bean validation API. Okay, so now let us discuss one example. Okay, let us open the STS. Okay, I have already opened the STS. Create one new project, Spring Starter project. Then here I can write the annotations. And then these are all, everything is same. Var packaging I need to do because I need a web app folder. Then next, then I need to add the one extra dependency, which is validation. Okay, so as I told you here, the Spring Boot Starter validation dependency you need to add. Along with that, we need to add the two more dependencies. One is the JSP compiler, which is Jasper, and the one is a JSTL view, which is used to resolve the after the model object code generated from the controller. Okay, so now let's open the pom.xml. And you can see here. So this is that dependency I have specified, and this is a web dependency. And then this is when you package to a var file, you will get this one. Even though you remove this, nothing will happen. And then I need to add the two more extra dependencies. One is the Tomcat, sorry, JSP dot Apache dot Tomcat dot Jasp embed. Okay, and then artifact ID Tomcat embed Jasper. Okay, fine. So this is the current JSP compiler, compiles the JSP page. So another dependency which I'm going to use is another dependency I need to use is the JSTL. So it is from the Java Servlet. And then here I need to use the JSTL. I think I have not done any mistakes in the artifact ID and group ID, correct? If you made any mistakes, you will get error. So let's save it. Oh, I got the mistake. I made the mistake. Java Servlet. Servlet spelling is wrong. That's what. If you made any mistake, you will get error. Okay, so that's it. So now my dependencies are set up. Correct? Still there is showing why. I think it will no need to worry about that. Sometime it will happen. It will show that, but it is clearly downloaded. Okay, so now let's create the. I think I need to update it. The error will go. I need to update it. The error will go. Okay, so we do it. Maven update project, then force update. the error will go now. I think, yeah, error has gone. Okay, so error has gone. Fine. So now let's open the source folder, expand the main folder. See here you see web app folder. In this you can create the two more folders called webinf. Okay, and then in the properties file you need to configure the port as well as the views. Server.port equal to 7878, and the one is string.mvc.view.prefix equal to webinf JSP. Then string.mvc.view.suffix, which is .jsp. Fine. So everything is done now. Now I need to write the program. So first thing, I need to create a one Pojo class, which is called the, I need to write the validation. So I think everything is fine. So string.mvc.view.prefix, string.mvc.view.suffix. Okay. So now let's open the, expand it, and then create the, let's create a one class called employee. So in this employee class, I'm going to create the three variables, or three properties, or three fields called string name for the string validation. Then date of birth. And last but not least, we have the int salary. Okay. So now let's generate a getter and setter methods using this. Okay. Now, as I told you, the bean validation we will use, that is what javax.validation. So javax.validation.constraint package has those annotations. Okay. So those annotations, the first one I'm going to use is size annotation. Size annotation will tell you that what is the length of the characters you are going to enter. So minimum length is 10, 6, and the maximum length is 15. Okay. And then the message name must be between 6 to 15 characters. Name must be between 5 to 16 characters. 6 to 15 characters. Okay. So I think this must be not in a double quotes, because these are the integer values. Second one is what? Okay, there is no semicolon here. Okay. So second one is what? The date of birth. So we use the past. Means the date must be entered less than the current date. Current date means today's date. Next one is what? Salary. So we have min, and then we have max. We have min, we have value. Minimum value must be 30,000. The message, minimum salary must be 30,000. And then maximum salary must be 1 lakh. Okay, so these are the three validations I have written. Okay, size, the past, and then the min and max. Now let's write a controller. Okay. So same controller, we are going to write what we have written in the previous session. Employee control. So in this controller, what I'm going to write, 3 request mappings I'm going to write. First one will show the index page. When you click the click here link, it will go to the request mapping called show form and shows a form. Then there you can enter the form values. Then it will bind with the form fields through the Pojo class, through the JSP value, so JSP form fields, and then it will show the output. So for that, you should use a submit request mapping. So now let's notate with a controller annotation. The first one, I need to write the welcome request mapping. So when I type the welcome at the first one, then it will show the index page, index.js. So this is the JSP file. So next one. So when I will change the click here button, it will show the form. For that, we should do show form. Then here I will pass the model interface as a parameter. Okay, then here I can set up one attribute for the Pojo class object called the employee. So this attribute is used in the another JSP file to get the values. So new employee. Okay, that's it. So next, what I'm going to create a one more method called, once the form has been shown, so it should return the form called input form. I need to create this JSP file. So these are the JSP files. Okay, input, index, etc. And then I will copy this again. Then I will paste here. And then this must be submit. Then here we will not write any parameter. Then we will write the model attribute annotation. What is the model attribute annotation? It binds the JSP form field values, whatever you entered, to the Pojo class property values through the Pojo class. Okay, model attribute name is employee and then property. And then now, how you should know that all the values if you entered are correct. In name must be between 6 to 10 characters, 15 characters. Date of birth must be, it should be less than the today's date. And then the salary must be minimum 30,000 and 1,000, 10 lakh, 1 lakh. So for that, you need to do the validation. So I need to use a valid annotation. In case a validation fails, then it should not go to the next page so that it should populate the values. Okay, so in the previous session, if you are not perform any validation, if you click the submit button, if you're not entered, it will show the nulls, but here it should not happen. It should stay there itself. So how to check whether the validation has error or not? Now for that, the Spring framework provides one more annotation, one more interface called binding result. This will tell you whether the validation has any errors or not in this form. So it has a method called has errors. It has a method called what? Has errors. Okay. So if br has errors means in that form the validation has been performed as containing errors. In this, then it should return to the same. It must return to the same page. Okay. Else it should return the output page. Okay. Else it should return the output page. Fine. The show form, you should be changing this to submit form. Okay, so 3 URL patterns I'm using: welcome, show form, submit form. Then the method names are the index, then the show, and then the submit. And then if the form has any errors, then it will show the same input page. Okay, sorry, should share same input page. Else it should show the output page. Then the one more is missing here. Fine. So that's it. I hope you understood this code. Okay. Fine. Okay. Okay. So next, what we are going to design the 3 JSP pages, which are those input, output, and index. Okay. So let's go for the JSP folder and create the 3 files. So one is a index.jsp. Here I can write the color as yellow, then font size as 6, color as red. Then you can write here the A and chart and F equal to. So show form. Because the second request mapping is click here. When you click here, it will go to the show form. So that means it will come to here and then it will show this input.jsp. Now I need to create an input.jsp. Understanding what I'm telling? So that's it. Fine. Please don't make any spelling mistakes. So now I can go to the index.jsp. Sorry, input.jsp. Okay. Then here again, I can have the BG color, magenta. And then font color, white. Font size, 6. Okay. So now here I need to use the Spring tags to design the form. I need to design the Spring tags to design the form. So let's go. I need to use the Spring tags to design the form. So how I can do that? I can use the JSP's tag lib directive. Okay, JSP's tag lib directive. It has a parameter called URI. So Spring tags are available in this way. The prefix is Spring form tags I'm using. Then I will enable the page directives. I will enable the expression language to the page directive JSP. Fine. So now I will use the form tag because the prefix is form action equal to. So I need to submit the form. So for that, submit form, which is this one. Okay. And method equal to get. And then the model attribute, which is employee. Model attribute is this one. Okay. And then let's here. So first what I need to enter the name. So form input path equal to name. Now here, in case the name has not entered the properly, means you enter digits in the name. Sorry, you entered the more than 15 characters in the name. Then the validation fails. Now it should populate the error message. Now what is the error message here? The error message is written in the message attribute. Name must be between 6 to 615 characters. Now I need to show that error message. Now how I can do that? For this purpose, the form tag provides Spring Beans form tags provides the one more tag called errors. Okay, and here you can write that, print that error. So now you can write the BR. Now this tag will be used when you use the validation. Next one is what date of birth. This name and path and the path must be same as property value, property names of Pojo. Otherwise, it will give error. Okay. These I am talking. This now name DOB salary, they must be matched with this name DOB salary. Otherwise, you will get error. Okay. See, order can be anything. That's not a problem. Okay. Now let's create a button. Submit button. Okay. Now, when you display the message, you should display it in a style, proper style. So for that, I can use the style tag. I will use an embedded style sheet. So I will use a style tag in the header tag, and I will write the cascade embedded style sheets. So I will create a one class selector. Then the font size will be 25 pixel. That message must be occurred in this much big. Then the font weight must be displayed in the bolder. Then font style must be in italic. Then the color of the text must be, I think it is the magenta background color. So white will be a switch. Okay, so this is now where this my has to be passed. So you should pass it in the form error tag with the CSS class attribute. Okay. Right. Done. So now everything is done now. Submit form. So when you click the submit button, it will go to the submit form, and then here it will text if the errors are there in the validation. It will show the same page, or it will show the output page. Now I need to display the output JSP. Okay, and again I need to add some color equal to cyan. Then font color equal to red. Size equal to 6. Okay, then I need to add the core tag this time. Okay, I need to add some core tags. Percentage add. Core tag is not necessary, I think. I think I am not using any iteration here, correct? Core tag is not necessary. I can just enable the expression language. Now let's display that. So the first one I'm going to display is name. So what is the attribute name? Dollar. What's the attribute name here? This one. Employee. Employee dot name. Then we have copy and paste a couple of times. Date of birth. Okay. And this is the age, sorry, date of birth. And then this is the salary. This is the salary. This is the date of birth. Okay. Then here I can write the H2 employee information. Okay, then that's it. Then I can write some horizontal line. Correct. Fine, everything is done. Now let's run this application. I think everything is done correctly. So we have input, index, and then output. And so these must be input, output, and then index. Then the show form, welcome, and then submit form. Then this is the index, show form. Then this is input, so submit form. Then this is output. Okay, then what else we have to do? I think everything is done. So now let's execute this application, see any errors, how much errors we are going to get. Anything missed now? Okay, so when I write the welcome, then it will show me the index page. In the index page, when I click here, it will match to the show form. Then it binds all the JSP field values to the this one, and then it will show the input form. Then when I click the submit form button, it will match to the submit form, and then it will come to here and then binds the values of the all fields to the Pojo class properties. Okay, and then if it is validated properly, then it will directly show the output page, else it will show again the input page. Okay, so now let's run the application and see what happens. Okay, so now let's open the browser. So I think it is running on a port number 7878. Correct? Yes. Now let's go to the 7878. Just hold on, it is opening. Okay, I need to write the welcome. Okay, so now the click here is done. Now when I click here, it will show me the form. Correct. So now I need to do the validation, and it is showing the error. So name must be between, so the date of birth not entered. So it will automatically converts it into the, actually there is not null or empty will not work for the date of birth. So it automatically converts it into the Java type, in fact the string type. Okay, so it will show error, then the salary must be 30,000. So let's now enter the name as the Karan Kumar. Karan. So the Karan is 6 to 10, 15 characters, correct? Karan Kumar. And then here the date of birth, the day must be integer, the month must be the 3-letter character, and then the year must be again the integer. And the minimum salary must be 30,000. So now let's run it, and you got it. Employee information, name is Karan Kumar, date of birth is, okay. Now let's do some validation failure. Okay, so suppose if I enter the 6 lakh salary, so then it will show that maximum salary must be 1 lakh. Okay, and then while entering the date, you need to change it. Okay, because it is internally converted into. Let's enter the date which is greater than 2 days. So now it will show the error here. Date of birth must be less than the current date. Correct? And then if I enter the name greater than 15 characters, correct? And here the date must be entered correctly. And then the salary must be less than 30,000. Okay, and see now. They must be between 5 to 6 to 15 characters. Minimum salary must be 30,000. Okay, so everything is working. Here. Okay. Date of birth must be entered properly, otherwise it will. Okay, fine. Okay, so now instead of pressing the back button, I can also create one more link here called, here you can write down. So what I can write here, anchor tag href equal to show. Okay, employee. Fine. So, okay. Now, if I enter the digits, it will take it. Now, I don't want to enter the digits in the thing. If I enter the digits, it will take. I don't want to enter the digits in the name. Also, I don't want to enter the special characters. So what I can do is I can use one more annotation called pattern. For the pattern, I can use a regular expression attribute where I can mention the attribute as here, cap A to Z, and then A to Z, only characters. Then I can enter the 5 to 15 characters. Okay, no digits. Okay, and then end with the characters. And then the message must be invalid name. Okay, so this is what the we can use the pattern annotation. Okay, so see here. So it starts with the characters, ends with the characters, length will be 5 to 15. Okay, so no special characters are allowed. Okay, and then that's it. So now let's run the program. See, relaunch the application and you can see it. Okay, so now if I enter the Kiran 1, Kiran Kumar 1, date of birth is I can enter the 10/30/2000, salary will be 60,000. Now it will show error, invalid name, because the digits you entered. Okay, fine. That's it. Now we can go back to the form again. Name. Okay, so everything is working. So you can also add the images. How to add the images here? How to add the images here? Very, very simple to add the static documents like images, HTML files, JavaScript files. You can add it in the Spring MVC application is very, very easy. So in this resource folder, you have one folder called static. In this, you can create the subfolder. That folder can be anything. So you can create a JS, you can create a CSS, HTML, images, whatever. So in this, you can paste your favorite image. Suppose I want to paste this India flag. Okay. Then what I can do here is that I can go to here and I can paste here. Now I want to display it in the output.jsp. How I can do that? Very, very simple. So what I can do here is write down here. I can write the img, okay, src equal to download.jpg. Then the width of the image must be 200 pixel. Height of the image must be 200 pixel. That's it. And we are done. That's it. So I think the download.jpg will not come. You need to write images because it is inside the images folder. Correct. Now you can run it. See images coming up. Okay. So relaunch the application. Okay. And you can see the image is coming. This is how you can achieve the validation. You can achieve the validation for checkboxes also. You can achieve the validation for radio buttons also. You can achieve it. Okay. So that's it for this tutorial, this session. Okay. In the next session of the tutorial, we are going to discuss about how to connect to the database from Spring Boot. Okay, so we will achieve it using two ways. One is using Spring StateMVC template, and the one is Spring Data JPA module through which you can connect to the Hibernate. So that we are going to discuss it in the next tutorial. That's it. We will see you in the next tutorial. Fine. Thank you.